Welcome to the Bigfooty Eagles RDP Episode 3 Boogate. This week we'll reflect on getting bombed by Essendon, the scariness of the Subi Boos, the inspiring ins and out, the crows at Amy, and we discover the myth of Mrs. Keys is not really a myth.
We're flying high. We're the West Coast Eagles, and we're here to show you why. We're the big birds, kids of the big game. We're the Eagles.
I am QS, and joining me on this podcast journey is Keys.
Good evening, gents.
The Doc, to blow you why.
Hello.
Did I just say to blow you? I meant to show you why. Sorry, Doc. I didn't mean to do that. But
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And also the effervescent pantskyle.
Excellent to be here. What a show we have tonight.
We do indeed.
You're a jerk.
Shut up, Doc.
Kyle, how are you this evening?
On this, it's not Wednesday night because someone had to change things around, but it's Thursday night, so we've got the teams tonight. We've got a lot to talk about. It's going to be good.
It is going to be good. And I guess probably the thing that I'd like to discuss first, if you guys are agreeable to that, is the Essendon game. That's probably a logical place to start. In short, we lost.
In very short, yes. That's exactly what happened.
In short is only 6 letters, so it's pretty short.
It is. And
We lost. Yeah.
we did lose. And
Well,
I don't know too much about what went on in the game, apart from I was flying home from work that night, so I managed to catch the last quarter on my iPhone, which was quite good. I turned it on, getting off the plane, and great surprise, we were 17 points in front. I thought, you beauty, here we go. And so it literally is my fault we lost, because certainly we went downhill as soon as I started watching, so I apologise to everyone for that.
I think Bo Waters will be happy you've taken the blame off him because he's probably next in line. He had a stinker.
Yes.
He had one of those nights that everything he did turned to shit, really.
So what exactly was the problem with Bo?
Go on, finish the job.
He's underdone. I think he didn't have touch. I mean, he fumbled the ball out in the wing when he was out in the open. He kicked him from behind straight out of bounds on the full. He tried to kick to someone 70 metres across goals. Decision making, ball handling, everything was bad. It was probably the worst game I've seen him play for just about forever that I can think of. He had a stinker.
Yeah, right. And everyone obviously has them at times. I mean, one player doesn't make a game, so obviously there was a few others that could probably put their hands up and say that we weren't particularly good in that last term. I mean, 1 goal, 3 or whatever it was we kicked to 5 goals is not a great way to finish a footy match in my mind. I mean, would you say, Doc, it might be a case of that he's still a bit rusty? I mean, he hasn't had a great year so far. I mean, he went out injured with that innocuous-looking foot injury last year, and he sort of had an interrupted pre-season and season to date.
Yeah, look, people getting on his back after his first game back, which I thought was a little bit stiff because he's very underdone, and you could tell that. And he was All-Australian last year for a reason. He was unbelievable for most of last year. And I think it is a bit of a pattern with him that he gets injured, takes a little while to find his feet again, but inevitably he does. Unfortunately for him, he gets injured 4 or 5 times a season, so that equates to a solid 10 dodgy weeks. But the other 10 normally are high quality stuff. So we just got to hope that he gets over this little couple of weeks while he's finding his feet again, and then he comes good again. I think he will. I'm not too worried about Waters. He was, like he said, he was garbage for a lot of reasons last week, but I think we have more pressing worries than him just at the minute, and I wouldn't be throwing the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, in regards to Waters.
You'll back him in?
Back him for a good game this week.
You'll back him in. And that's an interesting one, Keys. You were last week's Nostradamus, actually.
Watson will line up and have 30 possessions and kick 3 goals.
Yep, you predicted that, Keith. He ended up with about 29 touches, didn't he? And he was a star in that last quarter.
29 on 2, so I wasn't far off, but it was scarily predictable. But just a shame we couldn't contain him. And the other one was, I think Carlisle getting moved forward was a good move by Hurd, and I think that was in the finish was a big part of why they won. He's a fantastic player, Carlisle.
Wasn't he good?
He's a great player, and I think what that did is it freshened things up for the Bombers, and what it also did is it put a bit of uncertainty into the defence, or our defence, that is. And at such a crucial time of the game, you can't afford to have that happen, and it just seemed to have an impact. But the thing that sort of disappointed me a little bit personally, and I think Kyle said things along the same line, as we failed to contain Watson when it was completely predictable how this guy can play under the circumstances that he was in. I'm not going to say he was brave, go that far, but I'm saying that he had that media exposure, so obviously he's going to be fueled by emotion. Did you say it's fair, Kyle?
He was egged on a little bit by the crowd, no doubt. I think the players should have started booing him. Anything to slow him down. Maybe like in The Simpsons with Darryl, everyone could have got Joby, made him cry a little bit before the last quarter finished, and maybe he'll be like too scared to get out there. But no, we all knew he was going to come out. We weren't going to tag him, and he played a 3 Brownlow votes game.
Yeah,
you reckon he was that good?
It's interesting you say that.
Fair enough.
Well, it'd be close, because the other one who was a pleasant surprise for me was Frittis had a very good game.
I agree. I don't think he was as Frittis.
He got top votes in the coaches' voting this week in front of Job, which I think that's interesting. But he had probably his best game that I've seen him play.
Was that a 3-quarter effort, would you say? Because I only saw the last quarter, so I can't really comment on the rest of the game. So, but was most of his work done maybe in the first, second, and third? Because the team seemed a bit down in the fourth, so he wasn't getting a lot of the ball. We
were down across the board in the last quarter.
Right. Okay.
And Job was only really special in that last quarter, but that's what the umpires will remember. It's not the coaches that give out the Brownlow votes; it's the umpires, and I think that'll be in their minds just how dominant he was.
Yeah, it looked like we were a bit inaccurate again, and I think you mentioned that in your preview thread. See, I just gave it a plug for you there, Doc.
Keep on plugging.
It requires a bit of time to sit down and read, but it's well worth the read. I recommend it. It put a smile on my face anyway. Always does. Fantastic work.
Good on you. What a great bloke you are.
I haven't read one in weeks.
TLDR.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same.
I refuse to read.
Yeah, I like reading them. I think Doc puts in a great deal of effort into writing them and trying to entertain the masses. So
I do.
Yeah, I can't actually read.
Build it and they will come.
Anyway, enough about me and my brilliance.
He moderates by colours, this bloke.
I do. By sign language.
I don't like your avatar. Red card for you.
My laptop is in Braille, so that's how I do everything.
Yeah, so...
apologies to any blind people out there.
Yeah, so we looked like we were inaccurate. Is there... that sometimes the score sheet itself doesn't tell a completely accurate story. It can often, highlight that there was a few behinds, but obviously not all of them. There might be some rush behinds in there. But was that the story, Doc?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the last quarter. Darling completely screwed that one up, running in at goal. He could have kicked a goal in about 12 different ways, and he didn't. I'm not sure why. The Cry had a shot from 30 metres out, didn't make the distance.
That was a bad one.
I can't believe it. Like, Mark Lacroix, it hurts my brain to think about how good a good kick he was, and how rubbish he is now. He's just about the worst in the team in front of goal at the moment. But anyway, again, I've forgotten what I'm doing now as well. Yeah, we kicked rubbish. It's another game I reckon we cost ourselves with kicking. If Darling kicks that goal, we win, in my opinion. And when you're 20 metres out directly in front, and you're getting paid like I'm sure he is, you got to be kicking them. So, again, I said in the preview that's the third game we've probably lost just from kicking rubbish.
Yeah, I think so. It's such a simple thing that we need to get right, and we've failed to do it. And it has. You're right. It has cost us a couple of games. So, and I think we've discussed that in a previous podcast, so I won't go into too much detail. But one thing that is very dear to our hearts, and we've all taken on board as a personal attack on us as a collective, as the West Coast supporters, was the criticism of the booing. Now, so Thursday night, commentary team, they were quite critical of the crowd at every opportunity, and it almost opens it up to say, well, look, are these guys just a mouthpiece for the AFL to push the agenda, you know, sort of not to criticise what's going on with any investigation or for anyone to make up their minds beforehand. And that was, you know, there was some conflicting views from the guys on 360, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday night, saying, well, look, this is probably the reason why they booed. And I think they were pretty spot on in saying it was more of a disappointment in the fact that we'd heard nothing and the guy was out there playing, and sort of, I know there's comparisons to Lance Armstrong, and without going into too much, you know, people have used that to say it's the same thing. It's probably not the same thing, because there's a difference between knowingly injecting yourself with something. But in terms of the booing, I personally, if I was at the game, I would have done it. So there you go. And I think that the same guys, they were commentating Saturday night, weren't they, Keys?
They were. And apparently booing is okay if the player's an arsehole. So Ballantyne and Crowley can cop it, which is fair enough, and I think they expect it, and no one really seems to jump up and down there. But Job's a nice bloke, so can't boo him, which really seems to be a bit stupid given the circumstances.
What would happen if Crowley started crying?
Get laughed at, wouldn't he?
Then he's weak.
Yeah, I think he wouldn't be
like.
They
wouldn't say, "Oh, he's so brave, he's a hero," and all that. He would be laughed at and probably booed some more.
Well, he gets laughed at for his wristbands anyway. So, but they're cool.
Laugh at
very cool
face. But as much as I mean, you can have some sympathy for Job and the positions he's in, but by and large, it's a position he's put himself in with the club. And I mean, no one made him come out and admit to what he did on Monday night last week. He's chosen to do that, and if you're going to come out and tell people that you've taken a banned substance, even though he doesn't believe that it is, you really should be expecting a backlash.
I think I've seen somebody saying something similar, like if you were driving along and the police pulled you over, gave you a random breath test, and you showed up, you blew numbers, and you said, "Oh, I didn't know my drink was spiked," you're still going to get convicted of drink driving.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
very clever.
And I think, you know, it's been said too that, well, you're responsible for what goes in there. So we've all taken that on board, and you know, all the things that we've heard come out of the media and gone, well, boo, boo, boo to you, mate. Yeah, we don't think you should be playing. So that's really the stance we've taken, and I don't think it's up to any commentary team to criticise what a set of fans do. I think that they need to spend less time worrying about what the people at the game are doing and commentate the game. They're not very good at that at the best of times.
Yeah, let's be frank. Brian Taylor's a bit of a knob. I mean, if we're worrying too much about what he's doing, yeah, he's a... I could say a lot meaner things about him because I really don't think much of that bloke.
As a commentator?
Well, yeah, I've never met him. I'm willing to assume he's a jerk, but all I can judge him on is his commentating. he's not good. He's not good at all in any way. He's not entertaining. He's not funny. He doesn't call the game well. And his little mate Luke Darcy next to him. Yeah, I'm getting on a tangent again. But
what was surprising is Richo went along with it, but I feel with him, just for this is my opinion, is that he's quite consistent in he sticks up for the players. He does that a fair bit, and he's consistent with that, and that's what I could see him trying to do. So he wasn't very critical as such of our fans as perhaps BT and Das were, and you know that's just the way they tend to commentate against us. Sorry, Kyle, were you trying to omit something there?
Yeah, I was trying to get something out. I forgot.
Quality.
Appreciate that.
Absolute quality.
The other thing with Richo as well is if he doesn't agree with Brian Taylor, then he gets just made fun of for 3 hours.
He gets slayed,
so
doesn't
you
he?
can't really blame him. Yeah, if he says one thing, it's just, oh boy, wow, you're an idiot, Richo. I mean, I'd kill myself if I had to sit next to those blokes for 2 hours. Richo does it every week.
But Richo started it like that.
Well, I think
With the posts.
Richo seems to come across as fairly genuine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas I think Darcy in particular comes across as quite pious and sanctimonious. He's just a bellend that I'd really rather not listen to.
Yep.
And we shouldn't have to.
Take that. Yes, so disapproval from the Bigfooty Eagles podcast team.
Yeah, the good thing is
they should all die.
The head honchos at the AFL will be listening to this and they'll go, geez, I didn't realise people
Hello.
thought that strongly.
Oh.
See, that's them now. That's them now.
Hello.
Oh, my God. I
Is
didn't
this
realise
Andrew
you thought that.
Trubisky?
That's Darcy on the phone.
Yes.
Oh, just tell him hi.
Tell him we all have beards.
Yeah, he doesn't like the beard, does he?
No.
He doesn't like anything except himself, let's be honest.
Only because he can't grow one.
Probably because he can't grow one himself.
Does he even like the doggies these days?
Jeez. I just said that.
They're pretty brave.
They are pretty brave. All right,
There's
well,
someone on-
I think we've
Coming here.
determined that we were right in booing. That's the consensus, yeah?
Yeah, we're right on everything.
Yep,
Oh, 100% correct.
100% correct. So
In the
there you go. Anyone that's listening that disagrees, then you're wrong. Because we
Who have the
think
Bombers got this week? Sorry, just one more. Who have the Bombers got this week?
That's a really good question.
I think
The
they've got
bye,
the booze, but,
the
I can't be...
GWS.
Oh, do they?
Tough game.
Yeah,
See, now they're going to say, oh, none of the GWS fans booed him. That's just because there's nobody there.
exactly.
oh,
It's a horrible...
They'll say it,
that's unlucky.
Maybe if it's a windy day, there might be a boo that runs through the sound, just the sound of rushing wind.
It'll just be a moo from a cow in the nearby paddock that's echoed all the way in. Like, that counts as a boo.
Maybe a haunted stadium, and there's
Yeah.
lots of those.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to match our boo, though, because Mark Thompson said that it was a scary boo.
Yeah.
And
I was terrified.
Me too. I mean, I could hear it on my iPhone, and I was literally crapping my pants.
I watched the game on the toilet because I was shit scared.
Honey, I'm home.
What the hell? What the fuck?
She's this
Another girl?
is
Another
Mrs. Keyser's
girl?
home. So hello.
Hi,
That's
guys.
really attractive.
There you go. She exists.
What a lovely sounding lady.
Yeah, don't let the sound of the voice fool you.
You've done well for yourself there, mate.
Oh, this is the best thing
Batting
ever.
above my average.
Well, it's obvious we
Anyway.
attract the fishes.
We do. Last week it's a yes girl, and
The
this week
ladies love
Mrs. Keys. That's fantastic. Hey, so seeing as we've
Yeah.
been pushed out to a Thursday this week,
Nicely timed on the topic is scary too.
hey, at least you can say that without threat of dying.
Yeah,
Or is she not?
maybe I spoke too soon.
She's not in the room, obviously.
She is.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
God.
we can talk about team
That's
selection
terrible.
again this week because we were
Yes.
pushed out until Thursday. Now, I've got listed down here Inns, Embley, Hill, Cripps, Brennan, and out Tunny, Smithy with a
No.
calf. Tunny was just omitted because he wasn't good in his 10 minutes or so, and that's the usual way.
You can barely
Yeah, no,
call
because-
it out. The amount of
Yeah,
game time you had.
Yeah,
But let's be honest, though, Keys, I mean, we've got to be pretty honest here. He didn't have a good 10 minutes, and it was his first game. We should definitely not play him again.
Ever.
Yeah, I think.
Ever.
Yeah. I think we all saw enough of those 10 minutes to just judge the rest of his career on.
Yeah.
I'm taking away the
unfortunate.
nickname of Tunny.
Unfortunate.
you're retracting it.
I'm retracting Tunny.
What's he called now?
Toilet.
Toilet.
Yep.
That's very kind of you.
Oh, good God.
That's kind?
Yeah.
It is kind. For you it is. Right, moving
Fucking
along.
toilet.
Kerr is out with ribs, apparently, and Butler, I've just got in brackets some injury because I couldn't remember what it was, but it's obviously something that's hurting him. Now, with
Our
Kerr,
body.
Kerr, that's an interesting one there because I've seen some stories in the news this week that talks about him saying he's got to battle through the pain and put in what he needs to help the Eagles get through this period where we've got a few injuries, and then next minute he is out with a mysterious rib injury. Did anyone see anything that may have caused that rib injury, or is it part of managing his workload to ensure that he can probably play the rest of the season and perhaps next as well?
Didn't
I
he
can't
get
remember seeing anything
bit of a
during the
knock?
game.
I thought he did.
Specifically, but he does use his body as a battering ram, so he would have to pick up a few knocks each week.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's the only one that actually goes hard at the ball.
And
And
Hutch.
he does get battered.
Oh,
He
well.
does get hammered by the opposition most weeks.
Right, okay. Well, I guess the ins don't really say too much. I mean, that's a good in, and hopefully he's sort of right to go and can give us a bit of an impact. But, geez, Embley, thoughts?
Embley could play the whole game and you'd still struggle to have a bigger impact than what Tunbridge did in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Look, and this is no blight on Embley. He's
I'm
been
being unfair on a good player.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. He's been an absolutely fantastic player, but unfortunately, it's not 2005 or 2006 anymore when he was at his absolute brilliant best. I mean, some of the criticism he cops on the boards, it's probably unwarranted because he has been a great player. Same with Adam Selwood. I know it's funny, but in all seriousness, they've both been good players. But I don't think now's the time to be playing Embley, and I made the point and ended up finding myself agreeing with E87, which I don't particularly like to do, but he's right, that should we be playing these kids and in the right positions too, and giving them some exposure to AFL footy, because it's times like this when we do have guys out that we don't have the stock to cover because they haven't had the exposure at AFL level and they tend to struggle. That doesn't mean they're bad players, it just means that they haven't got the experience at that particular level of playing. Would you say that's fair? Anyone?
Absolutely.
Go on then.
Absolutely.
First in.
I would rather see us give Tunbridge another game than play Embley.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if, it's arguable Embley could maybe make a bigger contribution than Tunbridge, but I think if we're looking towards the future, we need to see if a player like Tunbridge, whether he's made for it. He's on the rookie list. It's his second year on our rookie list, I think.
Yeah, that'll be about right. Yeah, he came on last year from GWS.
We need to give him some time to see if he's got it. And a side like Adelaide is probably a good one for him to play against. Just give him a go. We're going to get more value.
I just think we are looking to the future a little bit on that one though. To next week's game, which is against Fremantle, and I think that in that game where we want to bring in Kerr will come in, Wellingham will come in, but I think to get Embley a week beforehand, I think we've definitely played him this week so he can come in next week and hopefully, if possible, turn back the clock a little bit and play an excellent game.
Okay, fair.
Well, the other theory, and it's a real left field theory, is that Embley was out for a good part of last year, and he didn't sort of really get a chance to get fired up because he came back late in the season. Now he's had a bit of an interrupted season this season too, so may it just be that he's still not got rid of all his ring rust and he still has more to offer? Is that the positive way of looking at it, Doc?
It's a very positive way of looking at it. I'd prefer the less positive way of looking at it, that he's an old, slow man with limited skills and doesn't offer much to the team. But if you want to go the other way, then that reads a lot better for the team.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, but Doc, do you not think he has another good game in him?
He might have one. Do we play the Suns or do we play the Demons again this year?
No,
so you
we're
don't
not
reckon
that lucky.
you don't reckon the derby might be a good opportunity for him to have that?
I'd love it to be. I'd love him to have an absolute blinder in the Derby, but would I put money on him having lots of the football and doing lots of good things with it at all again this season? Probably not, just because.
But being the derby, you'd probably want his experience in it, because you just need to look at who Fremantle brought in for this week's game, and that's Sandilands, Pavlich, Mundy, and
someone else.
Barlow, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Barlow.
That's huge. They're huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are certainly huge. Duffield's gone though, but is that not a week too early, or is it good to get the hit out?
No, get
Well,
the
if it's
hit
like
out.
what Cole's saying, then yeah, then that's if they're all looking forward to the Derby. I don't know why we'd be looking forward to the Derby so much. I mean, we got to win
But
this.
that's going to be our grand final this year.
Oh, we sound like Fremantle, don't we?
Well,
It's just another
we've-
game, lads.
Yeah.
We've really,
it's truly not, because I really want to bloody win that one.
There's more background noise.
I just don't know. Don't ask. I don't know what's going on.
It's par for the course on this podcast.
Yeah, how good.
It's not complete without some random happening.
I reckon there's still more to come tonight too.
Oh, door shuts. Another one opens, which, well, I guess we're all in a bit of disagreement as to the direction we're heading in terms of team selections every week. It seems to be the same old thing. The team sheets come out, we all go, WTF, why is this happening, why is that happening? But are we stale? So one door shuts, another one opens. You know, there's a speculation around what Mr. John Worsfold is going to do. Is he going to walk? Now, let's theorise that he is in the back of his mind that he's done. He's had enough, and we need to find another coach. So, are we interested in Paul Roos, or is it, for all intents and purposes, an elaborate ruse?
Oh, that's shit.
First the one door closes link, and then that pun. Jesus.
It's great, isn't it?
That's borderline competent.
It is borderline competent. Now, Paul
Where's
Roos,
the pun?
is he the answer to our problems with the guys we've got at the moment? And bearing in mind, if he was to come on board, he would then have a draft period and trade period to play with as well.
He is an answer.
An answer.
One of many.
What's
Yeah.
what's the other answers? What's the alternatives that are reasonable? I mean, names such as Rodney Eade, Scott Burns, even Mark Harvey have been thrown around, and
Oh, Jesus, no.
God forgive Mark Neild, but
Ooh.
logically he seems the best out of that bunch.
Well, yeah, he is, but I mean, you got to see, where we're going to look at it. I think what the club needs, what the team needs, is just a fresh approach. I don't think it needs to be a Paul Roos or someone that's going to, of that sort of standing in the game. I think almost anyone could come in with a different game plan with some ideas, and you probably see some change in the way the team plays and some positive changes. I mean, we don't want anyone shit house. We don't want Mild or someone like that. But a Choco or I don't know, bloody Roos would be good.
Sheedy.
But no, don't be silly.
Well, if we're gonna go down the proven coach path, Roos is probably
Has to be a proven one.
top of the list. He's got the credentials. It's whether he still maintains he's not interested in coaching. It would be a fair coup for the board if they did get him across. I'm massively sceptical that he would even be interested.
Just
But
would have had him
if we want
does
a
it
proven
perfect.
coach, he's the one. If he's not interested, then I'm thinking that we're looking for an experienced assistant to step in. I think the other guys, he's had a couple of goes at a couple of clubs and couldn't quite get there. Williams, possibly, but I think
He's got mongrel about him though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think Williams will be at Melbourne next year. That's my tip.
Yeah, that's probably
He's-
not a bad tip either.
He's a good fit for them, I think.
So is that one or the other? Like we get Williams or Roos, or they get Roos or Williams? Is that
Possibly.
they're 1 and 2? They're probably 1 and 2 though. That's on the market.
Yeah. The other one who if Woosh does go, we'd have a fair bit of interest in Sumich, I would have thought.
Ugh, please no.
No,
Yeah.
well, he was reasonably well credentialed when he was with us as an assistant. He's gone away. He's had a couple of years on the line. He wouldn't put it this way, wouldn't be the worst.
Yeah, you're right.
What
He'd be
do
better
you
than
reckon
Scott
the
Burns.
reason is that he's been turned down for so many jobs though?
I think he would be someone who sounds like me in a podcast. Probably doesn't present very well. Sounds a bit dopey. And I
Has a
think
loud wife.
and that's when you read the comments and stuff like that. Sumich, when he speaks, he sounds stupid. He's a
Now,
potato
Keys, you
farmer.
don't sound stupid.
Sound act.
Look,
But he doesn't speak all that well compared to, say, some other head coaches.
Yep.
I think
I think that possibly
that's
holds
fair.
him back, and I think also the fact that he's from WA possibly influences that as well when he's speaking to clubs from the eastern states. Not sure if that's the case or not, but I mean, I suppose Watters and McKenna have got jobs over there, but
I think that's an exposure thing too to the media. Right? I mean, as an assistant, you don't really get too much of that. So I think skills are learnt over time on how to deal with curly questions and how not to give too much away without, whilst giving enough away to keep them satisfied. That's one of the criticisms of Busher is he doesn't show any real emotion, but to me, that's not such a big deal. I think it's a good thing because then your club's not open slather.
Yep.
I actually quite like that. Do we think Busher's done?
I don't think he's
I think
done
so.
as a coach. His coaching credentials
no, as a
are
coach, no.
they're intact.
Yeah.
I think he's tired.
I think his motivation is just about done.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but with regard to the next coach, should all this theorising come to fruition, is that next coach going to be a long-term coach, do you think? Would they be looking for somebody for the long haul? That seems to be the way the Eagles operate, bar Ken Judge and Ron Alexander and John Todd. But you got to remember, we had Mickey Malthouse for quite some time. We've also had Worsfold for quite some time, so we're quite stable with our coaches. But
They're very much prepared to give the coach a chance.
seems that way, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
on that note, it may be that the guy that they look to, they want to find some sort of stability in as to take the club into a new direction, or whether they're actually thinking that behind all the stories that we see that they're 100% behind Woosher, etc. That could just be for the sponsors and to make it look like everything's still stable, so there's no threat to the actual business side of it.
You won't get that long term with Russo.
I don't think so. No, he's
Yeah.
He would be brought in, I think, a 3-year deal with the plan to win a flag.
yeah. No, you're probably right there. I think he's, unless he was wanting to stay here,
Settle down
in Western Australia. So I think you're probably right in saying that. So, I mean, there has on Ruse. I mean, there's people saying that he's done well in 2005 to win that flag, and the team that he had wasn't so great, and there's some arguments for that. But I'd probably argue that they did actually have the nucleus of a really good side. You had guys like O'Keefe and Teddy Richards was in there, who was only young at the time. LRT, he was playing then. So he's actually assisted in their development into the players that they are today. And Ryan O'Keefe's a great midfielder. So, and he teaches that hard at the ball, non-compromise type footy, which we seem to have lost that aggression. We've only got a couple of players out there that seem to want to put their bodies on the line and go hard at the ball. And that, at the moment, that's, McGinnity, he's largely seen as an outside player. So, you want all your best players doing that, and perhaps Ruse is one of those types of coaches that can get that out of the players.
Yeah, I'd agree. Well,
And
we
you
saw
look
how
at his
quickly
assistants around
Fremantle shot
as well.
up with
Lion,
You're right, mate.
Yeah, well, they got destroyed at their own game last Saturday night. I watched the Cats go at them just really, really hard, and it's an effective way to slow those types of teams down that can move the ball quite quickly because they become nervous in possession.
I think Fremantle missing Barlow on Monday in particular really hurt them against Geelong.
Yep, I think so.
And Pavlich maybe not so much, since I guess if Pavlich was playing, they just couldn't get down there anyway. But those Barlow and Mundy really drive that midfield, and to have both of them out was a bit of a blow. Just online, and when you talk about Ruse, the question mark I'd have on Ruse is that Longmire and Lyon have both proven themselves to be quite astute coaches. They were both assistants to Ruse when he was having success, and you wonder whether or not maybe whilst they were the assistants, they were perhaps the brains behind some of his tactics. And Reeves was just a good people manager, not necessarily a great coach.
So he's the front man for the band.
Possibly, I might be, and it's always hard to know what assistants do behind the scenes. But you can't ignore that he had the help of two guys that have proven themselves to be pretty competent tacticians.
Yeah, no, that's a fair comment, I think. I guess, in saying that, I mean, we've got a game to win this weekend. How do we do that? What tactically can our present coach do in order to try and win? I mean, traditionally we don't do too well at Amy, and certainly when we played the Crows there last year, when we were going a bit better, they shat on us. So, literally, so we may as well sort of have a chat about what we think about this game. I mean, personally, again, I'm not too excited. I think we'll win. I'm probably one of the rare ones that actually do think we'll win.
But we're going to get smashed.
Yeah, look, I've seen the signs are there. I mean, admittedly, I didn't see much of last week's game, but I saw enough of the Hawthorn game to suggest that we are starting to come into a bit of form. It's not the form that's going to win as a flag, but I think it's form enough that we can actually beat the Crows, because I think when they're down, they're quite poor. They're worse than what we are when they're down, and I think their forward line's starting to look a bit tired with Big Tex out. Tom Lynch, whilst he's a good player, I don't think he's quite ready to step into the limelight. He hasn't done quite what Darling did last year on his own. Now, I think maybe if we can look at doing a few things differently, I see Shepherd's been named through the middle, so Shepherd and Marston in the middle, that might be something different. It may work. Gaff in the middle, that looked quite good. He's getting his hands on the ball and he's actually looking a bit more confident.
Imagine if we started a centre bounce with Gaff, Maston and Shepherd as their midfield three. Is that the smallest midfield in the history of the AFL ever?
Close
it's got to be close.
Particularly going against, say, Thompson, Dangerfield and...
They're just going to get... Yeah.
Vince,
I mean...
something...
Yeah. For argument's sake.
I think Prentice will be in there, but... I mean, he's not super.
Well, yeah, but just
big.
say at one stage, should those be the three? Like that's. I mean, I like Shepherd a lot. I mean, everyone likes Shepherd. We've all loved Shepherd, but I think Shepherd has a lot to offer in our midfield. But he needs. I mean, ideally, he'd be playing behind the likes of Scooter and Shuey and Kerr and Wellingham as well. But obviously, that's not an option for us now. So I suppose chuck him in the deep end isn't the worst thing. Yeah, go on.
Did I notice that we played Rosa in the middle a little bit more against Essendon?
Yeah, and I think he played okay too.
Yeah, he was okay. So I wouldn't mind if they put Rosa into the middle a little bit more and left Shepherd out in the wing.
Natanui will play in the middle
work.
as well.
Yeah, I think
that's all we need.
Nick Nat will...
a dug a bone.
He will contest the ruck duties. Do you reckon that's fair to say?
He'll rove as well.
Nick Nat will be in the ruck.
And Jacobs hasn't been as good a form
lock,
this year for Adelaide as he was last year.
He's been shit. I think we'll comfortably win the ruck contest, but it's just a matter of how we rove. As you say, their midfielder, Dangerfield, Thompson, those types of guys, they're much bigger than the guys that we're looking to throw in the middle. So we need to be smart about our clearances. That's what we need to do. We need to win them because it's quite likely Nick Nat's going to dominate.
I think it's probably this week more than other. It really does come down to the midfield. I think our back six, I think we've got a good chance of covering them up forward. They don't have any really dangerous forwards apart from when perhaps Dangerfield pushes down there. And I think we've got the forwards to expose their back line as well. But if the ball's not going in cleanly, it's going to make life difficult for the forwards still.
Yes, certainly, I think. But look, if we can fire up and play to our capacity, I think we will win. It's not going to be an easy game to win, but if all those things go right for us and we play it smart, that's the main thing. We got to play it smart, and we haven't done that a lot. We haven't come up with some plans to get around the opposition midfielders clearing from Nick Nat's taps. So, it's something that we certainly need to address. So, yeah, that's going to win us the game, and kicking straight. Kicking more goals, and kicking a bigger score than the opposition. That'll win us the game. Would you agree?
It'd help at least. Yeah, we'd go close.
So not less, not the same, but more. That's what we're looking
yeah.
for here, isn't it?
Let's hope so.
Yeah, if we can play like we did for the middle stages of the game against against Essendon for 4 quarters, I think we're a show, and I'm going to back us in this week by 12 points.
Yeah, I said 15, so you're in my camp. Is anyone else game to tip us, or are you two other blokes? Are you pessimistic about our chances?
I think we'll go down by
9
20.
points either way.
Down 20. 20?
We're down 20. What about you? What'd you say, Kyle?
About 9 points either way.
No, commit.
Get off the fence, you sook.
He's not even on the fence. He's
Now, look,
straddling the fence.
To be honest, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if we lost by 10 goals.
I don't think any of us would, but
We shouldn't be losing by 10 goals to this mob.
yeah,
Really?
some more serious questions would be asked if we were getting beat by 60 points by the Crows.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Yep.
All right, so there's this week's game done and dusted, and hopefully my tip gets up, or Key's tip. That's the desired outcome. So now we need to address the post of the week. There's been some good ones floating about. Oh, I will throw to you, Kyle, because you reckon you had a good one.
I loved my one. I really did.
Yeah, but it can't be yours. It's got to be somebody else's. It's not a self-prophesizing segment.
No. It wasn't my post, but the one that I found, I absolutely laughed. I pissed myself laughing. I think it was mainly because of the photo attached to it. But it was done.
It's going to be hard to convey via podcast.
I'm gonna describe it perfectly. Don't you worry. So the poster was. I hope I say this correctly. I think it's retaliate. Retaliate.
Retaliate.
Retaliate.
Retaliate. Well, there's no E in it, so it's not Retelli. It's an A. It's Retali.
Play on words, like the word retaliate.
Retaliate.
Oh.
The penny drops.
Well, that's even better. So, retaliate. Posted in the unofficial preview. Changes for this round match posted at 2:02 p.m. today. So I don't know if he's trying to do this as a song or as a prayer or something, but I'm gonna read it out how I think it's meant to say. Well, what he was saying in his head.
You're going to sing for us.
I might do.
Oh, here we go. We're in for a treat.
Me. Okay, well. I'm not going to sing it, but I'll...
Get on with it.
I'll stop. And today we pray. Wilson gets another chance, another gig. Please, we need his kicking boot to deliver. Lace out to the Twin Towers, up forward. And the post itself I like, but it was the photo that was put on it, and it's a photo of an Ewok looking menacing, saying, "Prepare your anus."
I like the picture idea, but the poetry sounded like a struggling arts student, to be honest.
It's a bit underwhelming, Kyle.
All right,
What?
no worries. Well, no, you've had your go. We'll
Prepare your
vote.
anus, Doc.
We will vote at the end. So, yeah, Doc, tell us, mate, have you picked out a lucky post of the week?
Yes, I have. I've had a bit of help from Keys, because he's a good man. Mainly because I don't venture onto the main board at all anymore, because I found everybody on there to be completely insufferable, especially the moderators.
Oh, bit of a slay for one of our own there.
I didn't even realise, Kyle. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I am, actually.
I'll have to find a new bleep for that.
Anyway, the post was from one of our own, Scotland, who you may know from around our board. He wrote,
Oh, hey,
Joe Watson... Yeah. Oh, he wrote, Joe Watson has it easy with a bit of booing. Everyone at home had to endure Darcy, BT and Richo. And he was rewarded with 183 likes.
Any rainbows?
183 likes.
So not only could you not find your own one, but you just took the most liked one. That one doesn't.
No, he made another post about 3 down that got... Hang on, see if I can find it now. Yeah, he got me on the spot. Oh, was it before it? Anyway, it had more than that. So Scotland is just drowning himself in likes at the moment, and for that he has been rewarded with a
wins the
mention.
internet.
He was mentioned on the podcast, so congratulations to you, Scotland. You're a marvellous country, and thanks for haggis and kilts and all that magic.
Fantastic.
Who's next?
I will. I'll throw over to Keys. He can go next.
I got one from D&M, Divide and Multiply.
Divide and multi. Then the
On the
next
topic
line. Yeah.
topic of tonight, in the thread, Luke Darcy, absolute disgrace.
It's a classic.
What can be said more?
He said that's the thread title.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
His comment.
I thought that was the
You
comment.
might need to beat this Q, but this thought the thread deserves a bump. The fit he had last night was a perfect window not only into the psychopathology of an arrogant, grudge-holding twat, but into the schism that exists between public opinion and the media boys club. They have a narrative for Job, Hurd and Essendon, and the booze did not fit. The shock of this challenge to the narrative homogeny, their right to hold up their mates as champions, their products as the best, sent the commentary team into a round of hysterics and crowd vilification. Who pays the bills, you knobheads? Who watches the matches and politely, or not so politely, grits their teeth and suffers through your buffoonish, ill-informed and often unprofessional commentary? Who are you to tell us not to boo, to damn the integrity of those demanding integrity? It wasn't even bias, it was vile, unchecked conceit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
hard.
incredible.
He
Isn't
summed
it?
it up quite nicely.
But how do you know? How do you know the 4-starred out word was?
It said silly.
I guessed.
I reckon it was this Kyle.
Christmas. Kyle.
It's a bit of a swear word, isn't it, Kyle?
Oh, that's a red card.
Yeah,
To be
that's
perfectly
such-
honest, that post has just done this podcast for us 10 times better in about half the time. Not even that.
You know what? I liked it instantly.
Yeah,
Did ya?
I kind of like that
I just
one.
went and found it and liked it. I'm like going, what?
Yeah, that's a great post.
Hey,
I love it.
It's better than the one I picked, I reckon.
yeah, no,
I'm changing my one from retaliate. That one now sucks.
well,
Yeah, up yours, Scotland.
Hey, look,
and a big hello to retaliate.
g'day, retaliate. Hey, look,
What's he going to do?
I've still got to throw mine, and I reckon mine's got yours all beat, but it probably doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll give it a go anyway. Mine is from 5 Strings. Does anyone know 5 Strings?
I met
Oh,
Five String once.
Did you?
Yeah,
What's he like?
He's a
willow.
moderator.
No, he's
He's
awesome.
a moderator. We're all.
He's a, what's this wee business?
That's about the fourth in about a minute.
Well, even the X ones.
X ones, yeah. No, he's from down my way, so he's instantly a good bloke. But anyway, I just think
He's a good fella.
simple, to the point, and funny. He said in the unofficial preview thread, the rival to Doc's official
Garbage.
preview thread, which becomes the game day thread upon request. Butler may have a soft tissue injury, full stop. It's been a few weeks since his last one. And that received 1 like from me. And that's all that matters. So well done to Fivey, but I'm not sure you're going to win it with that one. So
No, I'll vote for Keyser's one.
yeah, I think D&M's is pretty good, even if he does have a Y underneath the main part of his name, but it's what we all were thinking, I think.
Yeah, well done.
So,
That's my winner.
Hooray, winner.
who wants to announce the winner?
Congratulations.
There you go. And you, for this week, you win. What you do win is you win the chance to watch us win a
Dinner
game.
with Luke Darcy.
Dinner with Luke Darcy. And you have to pay.
Non-negotiable.
And you have to have a beard.
Even a fake one, just take one along with you. But yeah, I couldn't think anything better than that, actually. I wish I'd won that myself. But anyway, guys, well, I think we've probably harped on enough about things. So if anyone's anything else that anyone would like to say, you've got the floor.
Go Eagles.
Football better than the Adelaide of Crows.
Yeah, let's do that.
Football play good Sat night.
Yes.
We got through a whole hour
Otherwise-
without mentioning Coxie once too, so he'll be stoked with that.
Oh, you've gone and done it, haven't you? Hey,
He's
I'll-
not listening this far.
Who haven't you mentioned?
His boyfriend. What's his name? Badge.
Honey Badge.
Big Badge.
Money bags.
And Kyle Zen wanted you to shout out for her.
She wanted me to shout out for her.
No, but you just did.
Oh, no, I didn't.
But you're going to.
I might. Zen, you are quite good at turning me on.
Oh, what a good way to finish.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to finish. So, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed listening, all three of you. Stephen Weller, thanks for listening. And we will see you next week. Thursday night, we will have some Dockers flog on, hopefully, if we can get them to come on the podcast and talk to us, because people don't seem to want to do that. But if you do want to come on, send us a PM, and we're happy to have you on. So, Keys, Doc, and No Pants Kylie, good night.
Thanks, mate.
Night.
We probably shouldn't
Enjoy
say,
yourself.
We probably shouldn't say good night, should we? Because people might be listening first thing in the morning while they're eating their cornflakes. And then
We should just
Good
say
morning.
good times.
That's all, folks.
Happy life.